The religions, as we know them, and as we knew them then, were doing these three things. But that wasn't enough for many of us, and the way they were being done didn't interest us, because the price for membership was a little too steep for counterculture kind of people who were unconventional. It was like you had to pretend to believe in things that were not believable, or participate in rituals that you couldn't understand or didn't see any value in, and they were all sort of tribal. And we didn't want to be tribal. Our tribes were diverse and multi-ethnic and so forth. But there were two other reasons. One, religion at its best. These things kind of define religion. Yesterday we were talking about the difference between religion and spirituality. Well, now we've come to where religion and spirituality should, come together. Religion should provide transformation. It should change us. It should help us grow and expand and become more fulfilled and bigger human beings, complete and whole. It wasn't doing that. And it should provide transcendence. If religion is not providing transcendence, it's not worthy of the name religion. That sounds harsh, but that's what religion means, to return to the source. So transcendence, to expand beyond the limited confines of the ego and the body, as Walt Whitman said, I am not confined between my hat and my boots, to give a sense of being bigger, to expand the sense of identity, to touch the infinite and unite with the ultimate. That's what religion should do. It wasn't doing it. We wanted it. The East provided it. And that's what happened. Then came a new phenomenon. Because of all the participation of Westerners in these Eastern traditions, we now started to have what I call in the book Vedic transmitters. Westerners who were becoming exponents of these teachings and representatives of these teachings. I, in my limited way, was one of them. I learned transcendental meditation despite the Beatles, not because of them, and became a teacher of that. So I was one of an army of people teaching people to meditate. And others were teaching yoga, and others were, becoming scholars of religion. There's probably some in this room, and transmitting it in that way. Others became psychologists and added the spiritual dimension to psychology through the work of Maslow and others, expanding psychology to humanistic and transpersonal psychology. Others went into medicine and started adding meditation and yoga to the medical repertoire. I am that. Thou art that. All this is that. These are the Mahavakyas of the Upanishads. This is the central teaching. This is how we globalize the mind, by coming to the awareness that those teachings represent. And this is where the depth comes in, because this suggests a oneness and a unity. That's not just let's be nice to each other and let's recognize the humanity in each other. This is we are the same. We are one. It's a state of being, not just a state of thinking and not just a state of feeling. It is a deeply lived thing when it's realized. And the methodologies that have started to be integrated into the culture, meditation practices and yogic practices, are the kind of deepening elements that we can adapt and secularize where necessary, adapt to different spiritual and religious contexts where necessary, educational contexts. And, I live in America, which is a mess right now. And every day you hear people screaming for reform. We need election reform, and we need economic reform, and we need tax reform, and we need educational reform. We we need voices calling for consciousness reform. We need to transform and reform consciousness. That's what the East has given us. A model and practices that can help us transform human consciousness so that it's globalized, and so that not just the mind, but the heart and the soul are globalized as well. Stop, please. Okay, I'm stopping.